What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the new video. Today, I'm gonna try to see if I will be able and allowed to do a reaction to one of Joe Rogan's episodes on his podcast. This is a story. It's called "Trying to Survive in Prison as a First-Time Offender." The guy in this story who's talking to Joe Rogan, I guess he's an MMA dude. I don't know if he's an MMA trainer or what it is, but he's gonna tell his version of some stuff that he went through while incarcerated, and I'm gonna react to it. Let's go.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
So I get picked up in Atlanta, take me to Atlanta jail. I go and put me in this modular, and I go in this modular, and there's black people, all the different races, right? Well, over there, they don't politic like we do in California, right? So this is my first understanding of how this system works, right? So I go in there, and the only thing that you can't do in that system is you can't eat at the same table with a different race. Besides that, once you're up from the dinner table, I can trade with any race. I could do whatever, talk to them, chop it up, like.
But
whatever.
you have to eat with people of your own race
only. Yeah.
Wow.
Only. So then.
And they tell you this, so somebody informs you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I got informed when I went in.
So when I moved from Atlanta to California, California politics much different. You can't trade. You can't trade with blacks. You can't trade with others. You can't trade with. So you can only do trade with your race, and then the whites get along with the essays. So what ended up happening is so you have others, which are any other race besides Mexican, white, or black. And this is a car. It's called a car, right? So everybody has a car, their own race. So you have Woods, you have Skinheads, you got Paisas, you got the Mexicans, you got Crips, Bloods, and others.
And the Paisas roll with the Mexicans, the Skinheads roll with the Woods.
Yeah. And if something really pops off, some race shit, then Mexicans and the whites will click up against the blacks, or the blacks.
It's always all them against us. It always sucked to be. It sucked to be black in them times. I'm telling you, real shit. But we thump though. We thump. So we always knock them out anyway.
You start figuring, trying
to. First problem I have with the story. I'd like an example outside of a Hollywood movie where that took place, when that took place, where the Mexicans and the whites together moved in unison against an adversary in prison. That lie is going to perpetuate for eternity. There's no changing it.
Trying to figure out this shit, like you get thrown into that fire, you're trying to figure out all these unwritten rules. There's no rule book, law book come in and say, hey, do this.
Yeah.
Right. So
So
a guy could really direct you in the wrong way if he wants to, you know what I mean? Like tell you some sideways shit, and next thing you know, you're in a wreck.
Ooh.
So I go in.
Set you up.
So I go in. This was actually my second experience, not my first experience in there, but my second experience, I go in, they put me into a psych ward, a psych watch, getting extradited from Atlanta to here. And so I go into this area, and I don't know anything, and this black guy in the psych ward is like yelling in this module, like, anybody want to learn how to play chess? Anybody want to learn how to play chess? And I was like, hell yeah, I want to learn how to play chess, right? So I walk over, I sit down with this fool, and he starts showing me how to play chess. But it's a black guy at a black guy table, and I'm a white guy. So now I just sat down at this black guy table, and all the Woods and all the Skinheads in there are like now against me.
Oh no!
But I didn't know.
No, you had no idea.
I had no idea.
Oh no!
Right? So now.
No.
Yeah. So now my cell pops, and I go to walk to the shower, and I walk past the other cell that pops, which is another Skinhead in that room. And I go walk past his cell, and it's smack, right? So now we're fighting.
Well, does anybody believe this shit? Am I the only one? No, I'm not. I know. I am glad that Joe Rogan is naive when it comes to jail. That means he's never done jail time. But in California, I just don't see how this is possible. I'm gonna give you an example. Um, and let me preface it with this. You know, people that are outside of California that speak on the the racism within California's Department of Corrections. I would like to just make a couple points clear. Maybe it's one point involving multiple things. It is true that you don't you don't do things outside of your race or even outside of your faction. Let's say that it's not just race; it's faction as well. You could be now things have changed, but before, Raza from Southern California, we're gonna go play a game against Raza from Northern California or against the Bulldogs, and going further against the blacks, right? And the reason is not based on race. Again, I just pointed out how Raza from two different sides of the state weren't going to engage in gameplay, cards, dominoes, chess, soccer, football, basketball. They weren't engaged in any of that. And you know why? Because as an individual, you mean absolutely nothing behind those walls. You are a small part of a big old thing. Okay? So in this example here, you had one white dude and one black dude decide on their own as individuals that they were going to go and sit down and play chess. What if this guy would have got mad? Or what if the black guy gets mad? Then they start arguing. Then one swings on the other one. Guess what? Every black has to jump and every white has to jump. Why? Because these two selfish individuals thought that they could go and do whatever they want, forgetting they're only a part of something bigger than themselves. They're not bigger than the program. That's why things are the way they are out here. You are not going to involve everyone else. Because in California, it's not going to be like, oh, hey, Holmes, check it out. The homie's fucking, he's getting down over there. Oh, damn, Holmes, I'm about to lose him. Ah, shit, maybe he'll win next time. No. It's, hey, Holmes, who the fuck is that? Boom, let's go. And his people will be like, let's go. That's how it is. That said, this guy had just got there. Everybody sees he just got there. I find it extremely hard to believe that if this scenario would have actually truly took place, I find it hard to believe that a black or a white wouldn't have approached these guys and said, hey man, can I holler at you real quick? You know, for an example, a white dude, a Wood or a Skin, I can't believe wouldn't have walked over and said, hey bro, can I talk to you real quick? I don't mean to interrupt you guys' game, but can I talk to you real quick? You pull him to the side and you say, hey, you know, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit don't fly. Where have you been? Are you new to doing time? And when he says, yeah, I didn't know that. All right, Holmes, well, go ahead and end that game. And they would have ended the game. They would have pulled him to the side and they would have started lacing him up. You don't just watch that happen and it could turn into something big. So that's a huge, that's a definite thumbs down on this part of the story as well. 2 thumbs down already.
Wow.
You know? So clean this kid up. Now they move me to another module. So now this kid put a kite out, like, oh, we got to get this guy because da-da-da-da-da. So.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. So I'm moving this other module. At the time, the institution had a lot of skinheads in there, and the skinheads will politic hard. Like, if they have numbers, then they'll push the politics, you know? And I looked like a skinhead. When I went in, I had no hair, you know, like a just bald guy going in there, you know what I mean?
Right.
So they all start treating me like I'm one of them, but I'm not a fucking skinhead.
Joe Rogan, man. Still my favorite podcast. But this story is complete bullshit. So he still has a shaved head. Does he look like a skinhead to you? No, he looks like a white dude that's fucking probably bald or just likes to be clean cut, right? So he shaves his head, it's clean looking. But now he's telling us as if we're to believe that skinhead saw him and because he had a shaved head, oh, that's a comrade right there.
So this guy come over and he's trying to get me to hide this little shank in my cell. Well, that's weapons manufacturing, carries 2 more years.
Oh my God.
That's how people start getting hit.
It's weapons possession. It's not weapons manufacturing. It's weapons possession. It's already become a weapon. So it's not manufactured. It's a fucking weapon. It's weapons possession. And again, horrible. I don't know, man. Maybe he's still on the psych ward and this is all just hallucinations in his mind that he assumed were reality. Skinheads don't even like woods half the time, okay? Just because his skin is the same color as a skinhead doesn't mean a skinhead is going to embrace him. Anyone that has been around the skinheads knows this. This story, this part of the story, and it gets worse. They are not going to just be like, oh, hey, oh, that's a comrade right there. He got a shaved head. Oh, that's a comrade right there. And let's give him one of our weapons. Weaponry is not to be lost. It's to be not cherished, but it is to be maintained with people that you trust are not going to fuck it off, not going to lose it. Weaponry is necessary. How many knives did they have? How many shanks did they have? There's no way they're going to fucking go and take one of their weapons and give it to a guy they don't know, and especially not misidentify him. Skinheads wouldn't have never did that.
You start catching cases, more cases when you're only supposed to do 2, now you're doing 10. It just stacks up, but go ahead.
And then there's intimidation factor, right? So this guy got a big-ass swastika tattooed on his face right here, teardrops, lightning bolts everywhere, you know what I mean? Like, this, he's lifer, you know?
Right.
So big shit goes down. I end up choking this guy unconscious.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Drag him out of my cell because he's trying to get me to hold this shank in my cell. I can't, not doing this, bro. And you come in my cell, it's on.
Right.
So now we fighting, take this guy out, right? Just choke him out, beat him up, drag him out, hit him with some elbows. Now he's leaking. So drag his ass out into the little modular.
So do they know you can fight before you're in here?
They don't know.
No.
They have to no. How long before they figure it out?
Well, it took a minute.
Traveling.
It took a minute because most of the fighting goes on in the cell or in a shower. You know what I mean? So when the fight actually broke out in the open, when I was fighting multiple people, is what happened. And then all the fucking guards watched. Everybody's watching from their cells. You know, like this is a different time. So this whole incident takes place. I beat this guy up, take him out of my cell. Right now, they take him away. They move this guy out of the modular.
Did they get mad at you?
No.
I don't even know. He's saying modular. It's a mod. I know that's small, but it's just there's so much going on here that's crazy.
They just come in, you know, they don't really care. The guards don't give a shit. They don't give a shit.
So you fucked that dude up. Is he out cold? Does he have a? Do they have to ask him? Do they have to ask him what his story is?
I don't give a fuck.
But they don't ask you. They just let you go. It's okay.
No.
Is there a punishment? That's what I'm getting at.
They locked me in my cell. I couldn't get out of my cell for like 2 weeks.
Oh, for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Just alone in yourself, constant.
Yeah,
nothing.
They
nothing
won't
but
pop
yourself.
the door. So what happens is for a certain amount of hours of the day, they got to pop the door and let you into a bigger cell, a bigger room. You know what I mean? So I just couldn't get into the day room for like 2 weeks. But the crazy shit of it all is, like I'm trying to tell you, I'm trying to learn this system, right? There's new rules. So what happens is this guy, okay, we talk about the cars and the races, right? So each race has their own car, which means there's a key holder. And the key holder to that car controls the race. So they make decisions for the race. They kind of keep other races out of car wrecks. Like now we got a feud with the blacks or we got a feud with the Mexicans or whatever.
They call them car wrecks.
Yeah. Well, if we get in a fight with them, the key holder is the guy that can communicate with the other key holders to the races and try and keep peace.
They don't go and delegate it.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I didn't have it happen where we finna get it down with the Mexicans, and then our keys will go and they keys, and we finna jump. We get ready to jump, and they shake hands. All right, it ain't going, and then it go back down.
So, yeah, and you're trying to figure all this out. So what happened was I beat this fool's ass, and now I got the keys.
He beat a guy up and now he has the keys. He sat down and played chess with a black dude and got rushed over that. There's allegedly kites going around about him, but he's got the keys. He's been in 2 different incidents with his own people, right? The key holder, as he's calling, is the leader. And who is going to believe in their right mind that a guy who doesn't know anything about anything and will not hold a peace, the leader is the one he's down to fucking catch time for anything. He's down to use that peace, have a peace on him at all times. But let's believe this story.
Oh, wow.
But I can't have the keys because I'm a first termer. So
he can't have the keys because he's a first termer. That's absolute bullshit. There are dudes that are members of these factions, these organizations that are first termers, and they're members, full-blown members. That's way beyond a key holder, these so-called key holders he's talking about. This guy is full of shit.
a first termer is not allowed to have the keys, but nobody wanted to try to take the keys from me. So in order for them to take the keys from me, they got to fight me to take the keys away from me.
Keys are not a physical object in prison. They're not. Someone with authority makes a decision to bless somebody with the keys. Now, this is the county jail, so it's going to be a little bit different, but you still have to be somebody with some type of authority. So to say that, oh, well, they have to fight me to get the keys. No, they don't. You never had the keys. Yeah, this is crazy.
Oh, boy.
So that kind of changed the dynamics of the room, because now I'm able to navigate with these other races.
He's been jumped on 2 times, doesn't know shit from shit, right? But yet he's able to navigate with other races. Other races are going to be led by people that have experience, that know what time it is, that know politicking. And here comes this guy.
And have these conversations with these fucking ignorant.
He's leading skinheads and woods. 2 separate things that don't see eye to eye. And he's leading them. And apparently they still don't know that he's not a skinhead.
Ignorant people that don't understand how to really
talk.
You know what I mean? Like how to communicate and keep things cool. They misunderstand what this guy says or misinterpret what this guy says. And next thing you know, it's hot for everybody, you know?
And it's just misinterpretations.
Yeah, because they're dumb. Most of these guys are dumb, bro. Like,
that's the most chicken shit thing right there. They're so dumb, yet they're not fucking getting punched on like this dude is. As soon as he gets there, he's getting punched on. Whether he won or lost the fight, he's calling other motherfuckers dumb, and he's getting in wreck after wreck. He's so smart that he's in the same fucking pod as them. Same mod as them. That's how smart he is. He's so smart that his cell's the same size as their cell. This dude, like, I'm not sure what the whole agenda was for him to tell this lie, but, you know, tell your fucking lie and you know, let people decipher it or not. But don't start calling people stupid, you know. He's calling people dumb and ignorant, but yet they know how to function in their world. He's now in their world. Maybe they're ignorant in his world, you know, in the octagon or as a productive member of society, but in their world, he's the dumbest dude at the table. You know, there's an old fucking poker saying, if you sit down at a table and you don't know who the sucker is, it's you. This dude's a sucker.
There's like the conversation. It made me, in some ways, you're sitting there listening to these guys. You're like, these guys really think this shit? Like they
fighting about the dumbest shit.
Yeah. So
cities fighting over teams, fighting over just the dumbest shit. Xbox and PlayStation, and somebody said something wrong, and then that escalated into something that was personal.
Yeah.
That's quick.
So now they take me from there. That incident takes place, right, and we resolve some of that stuff. But now these guys are in different modulars, so now they're putting these kites out to try and get me as I'm going to court. So what happens is they catch a chain with some guys, and then we go into these holding tanks, all these different holding tanks, and you get put in that holding tank with that guy that got a kite that's looking for you, and now it's on. It's cracking. You know what I mean?
Whoa.
So I'm sitting in my cell, I'm getting ready to go to court, and there's two huge-ass guys, and they're in there talking to each other about trying to get me. But they don't know that it's me.
Bullshit. Complete crap. Like, the more this dude talks, the more crap comes out that is completely unbelievable. So, let's get this straight, you guys. Now, let me say this. As far as Raza is concerned, and I'm sure the whites are the same, if a kite's going out to serve this dude, that kite's going to have his last name, first and last name on it. It's going to have identifying things. The guy wears glasses. He has a beard. He has a mustache. It's this color. Does he have any scars that where when he has his jumpsuit on, you can see him, like a scar on his left hand? Does he have a tattoo that's visible when he's clothed? Is it on his neck? Is it on his head? Is it on the earlobe? Is it by his eye? All of that's going to be there. There's going to be identifying things. That's first of all. Second of all, him, now, if a kite goes out, hey, if you see this vato, get him, here's a description, this and that. You go into a tank, and I know, me and a dude go in a tank, and we're chopping it up, and another dude's in there. We don't know him. We're not going to talk business in front of him till we find out who he is. Does he match the description? It's going to be the first thing, like, hey, Holmes, I think that's that vato right there. And we're not going to say it out loud. Hey, we're going to whisper, like, that's him, homie. Then we'll be like, hey, homie, what's your name? Where you from? You're going to get, I can't even, like, I'm damn near speechless.
So I'm sitting in there, I'm listening to everything that they're trying to do and how they're going to try and set this shit up, and I'm sitting right in front of them, and they don't even realize it's me.
Wow.
And I'm thinking, honestly, I'm like, these are big motherfuckers. I'm thinking, they're going to take me out. Like, there's only so much you can do. You know what I mean?
Numbers.
So I make it through that whole process, and I catch the chain. And when I catch the chain, they take you from county to state. And I catch the chain with this same asshole that I got into it with, I took the keys from.
Oh my goodness.
And this is like, he's been in the system a long time, right? So now we catch the chain, we go over to Donovan, RJ Donovan. It's a 4 yards.
Level 4.
Do you know how that works?
No.
Level 4 being the highest level, most dangerous criminals.
People.
Yeah. The next level is Superdome in San Diego.
So why'd they bring you to Colorado. A level 4?
Because my charges,
the kidnapping thing.
All that, because those charges were so intense, they put you in with those people, Yeah.
Holy shit.
So I catch the chain, right? I go over there, I catch the chain, and this guy's just like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. I'm gonna kill you. Like, we're gonna get you, And I'm just thinking the whole time, like, if this chain comes off, I'm gonna rip this guy's ass apart again, you know what I mean? So I go into reception, and we're in a cell block. It's like 360 degrees with a gunner and all this stuff, some desks, and they come check you in. And now our cell's like, we don't get out of our cell now until they intake us, right? So now I'm in there. It's like 3 months, and there's this guy next door. We start talking.
So he's in reception. You do get your door open every day. In reception, okay? He just said they've been there 3 months and the doors don't open. And it's not a 360, it's a 270 design. I know you guys don't know what I'm talking about, but it's just more shit that I'm
through the vent to each other a little bit, And we're playing chess and shit, like through the little vent.
Mm-hmm.
So moving pieces around and shit, and they call me out to the thing, talk to the officers, and this guy goes, I don't know this guy, again, in the cell next to me.
Right.
And I walk past his cell, and I hear him yell, like, through the thing. He's like, hey, bro, kick that cord over to me. And I'm like, kick your cord over? Like, yeah, that cord right there, kick that cord over to me when you're coming by. And I'm like, what the fuck's he want this cord for, It was, like, connected to this fan, right? So when I come back, I kick this cord over, and I wasn't going to do it. But I was like, fuck it, right? So I kick this cord over there, and next thing you know, in the night, I get this fish come through, right? Like, they make a string, right, with the thing on it, and they swing it out into your cell. And you take this kite, and then you can read the information on it or whatever, So kite it around to everybody and get it to who they needed to get it to, right?
Okay.
So this guy shoots this little sheet kite over to me. I open it up and it's a fucking sack of weed, dude. Right? And I'm like, that's why this dude wanted that cord. He took that cord and he started a wick. So he started a fire and he had a bag of weed. So now he's smoking weed and the whole cell is like full of weed, bro. And he shoots it. I say, bro, I can't have this. Like, I try to shoot that shit back to him. He's like, no, you got to keep it. You get coffee with it. You get whatever you need, you know? And I'm like, oh shit, okay, you know? So my other cellie that was in there, he was like, I'll take it. And I was like, fuck yeah, take that shit. So I got a bunch of canteen and shit, you know, like coffee and stuff for it. And so this guy like really was like thankful I did it for him, you know, like kick this cord. So I never seen his face. Like,
he's been there 3 months. There's windows in the door. Okay? He walked by his cell. He's been there 3 months. Doesn't know what he looks like. The guy asked him from his door to kick a cord in. He's by his door. He still doesn't know what he looks like.
Never seen this guy's face, right? Just hear him talking through the thing.
Vince.
And so the guy I caught the chain with puts this hit on me. Like they want to try and stab me, right? So it goes around to the other key holders. The fucking guy next to me was a key holder for the Bloods. He's a black guy. Because I kicked that cord over to him, he hit me up through the cell. He's like, hey, he says, is your name Beanie? And I was like, fuck, right? I go back over to the vent, right? And I said, no. and he goes, oh, good. And I went, oh, good. What the fuck does this mean, right? And I'm like, hey, I said, what if it was? And he goes, well, is it or not, fucker? I go, well, it's not Beanie. I go, it's Baney. And he goes, it's the same shit. I go, okay, bro. He's like, hey, I'm gonna let you know, they're gonna pop this door and they're coming for you.
Guys, I think we've heard enough, right? For one, how does he know that he's a shot caller for the Bloods? Or the key holder, as he says, for one. For two, there's absolutely no way in hell that the Skinheads or even the Woods are going to sit down with the key holders of other groups and other cars and say, hey, we're going to hit this dude first chance we get. Baney. We're going to hit Baney. Say his name? Come on, man. This story is... The closest thing you're going to get is this. On the yard, you're not going to hit somebody in another faction's area because the gunner can let off and kill somebody from that other faction that had nothing to do with it, and that faction's going to want to retaliate, okay, against the whites in this case. Now, the closest it would get would be this. Once everybody's on the yard, Baney's on the yard, the shooters are on the yard, they're ready to go. The shot caller for the whites would be like, hey, you get at his shooters, like, hey, you guys gonna get on this dude right now? I'd say, yeah, okay, well then let me let the Mexicans know. So then he would go over to the Southern Raza, who's gonna, because they're usually in the same vicinity, the whites and the Southern Mexicans on a yard, and they would let somebody know, like, who they need to know, like, hey, look, bro, we're gonna be doing something right now, you guys be on your toes. Okay, homie, gracias. Gonna go back over there, let the Raza know, hey, the whites are gonna be doing something right now, just keep your eyes open. That's the furthest it's going to go. They're not going to say it's Baney and this guy's going to hit him, these two dudes, as soon as the door. That's not going to happen. It's unheard of. So I'm going to end that now. I'm sure there's a whole lot more shit on here that I could talk about, but you get it, man. Joe Rogan got bamboozled. This guy, like I said, supposedly he has hands, so I don't want to fight you, Baney. But if I do, I'm going to tell a great story just like you did. I'm going to win no matter what you say. Anyways, man, that's my story. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. Share the video with somebody you think that would enjoy it. Be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them, right? I'm out.